Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's webinar by the Gold and Silver Club, how to trade gold and silver breakouts on Bet-On Markets. Today we'll be revealing the Gold and Silver Club system for trading breakouts on Bet-On Markets to make consistent, tax-free monthly returns. So who's the trading for today, or who's the training for today? Okay, do any of these apply to you? Do you have perhaps a day job and also like to create a second or replacement income? Are you sick of your money depreciating in the bank and want to earn better returns on your savings? Are you tired of commuting to and from work and just wish you could work from anywhere in the world at any time that suited you? Perhaps you already know you can make a decent income from trading. You're already trading at the moment, but you perhaps want some more insights into trading, or you don't quite know where to start. Or, like a lot of people, you just want to make more money. Okay, guys, so if you answered yes to any of the above, you're definitely in the right place this evening. Okay, so why we trade commodities? Well, the reason we trade commodities is purely gold, silver and oil has made us the most money in the fastest time. You can make money regardless of whether the prices move up, down or sideways. And we're just going to do a very quick little sound check here, guys, for everybody, because we're getting a few questions through that not everybody can hear us. So if you could just put in the little Q&A box at the bottom there, just let us know you can hear us okay. Brilliant. Few good. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. We shall proceed. Fantastic. Okay, guys, so it's easy to make consistent lump sum income every month when you have a simple system that you're using. You can make money from a low deposit, you can compound the interest over 12 months and grow a small investment into a substantial return on investment for those who know compound interest and how that works. We're going to be talking a little bit about that today. And all the profit you make is 100% tax-free on this platform. And obviously it's not location dependent. So we know a lot of our traders have been on holiday recently. They've been able to trade from holiday or business meetings abroad. So you can make money at any time from anywhere in the world that suits you. Something we love about trading. Okay, so we're just going to talk a little bit, obviously talking about breakouts today, what the performance really of gold and silver over the last few years. So over the last 10 years, gold has actually moved 469% increase we've had in gold over the last 10 years. So it's quite incredible when you perhaps compare it to other asset classes, the stock market, or perhaps what you might get in a bank. So which country buys the most gold? So you're going to make this nice and interactive. So let us know which country you think currently buys the most gold. Okay, good. So we've got a few. China. Okay, fantastic. Very close. USA. It is in fact India. Although we're going to talk about China very shortly. Currently, India buys the most gold, and it's actually the gold festival in September. So moving on to silver. So silver, even more impressive than gold, 836% gain in the last 10 years alone. So that's an incredible move on silver in the last 10 years. So we've went up from $40 to a high essentially in 2011 of $48, and now we're just above the $30 mark. But again, a very impressive move. And reason we're interested in breakouts on gold and silver is when you're reaching all-time highs of any asset class, there's going to be a lot of breakouts. So the price is increasingly going to all-time highs. So we are going to talk about how you can actually trade that, how you can utilize bets on markets, and especially given what's happened over the last 2 weeks with the breakout of a 3-month range on both gold and silver, and how you could have profited and how potentially you can profit moving forward. We've got a lot of news coming out, even tomorrow actually from the Federal Reserve and in September. So we'll talk you through all of that today, so stay tuned. Okay, so a few of you, a bit of a hint, we're close just now, but which country do you think has the biggest demand for silver? Hey, yes guys, you're absolutely spot on. It is indeed China. So China currently has the biggest demand for silver worldwide. Their appetite for it is growing hugely. India and China are actually the biggest buyers at the moment. And not only that, gold, silver, and not forgetting corn and Brent crude oil are actually the best performers in the last 5 years. So if you look at all the different markets which have given the most return out of, well actually since the major credit crunch a few years ago, in the last 5 years since then, we have had gold, silver, corn and Brent crude oil have produced the biggest returns, which means they are definitely good candidates for us to be trading breakouts from. Okay, so just a little bit about myself and Nick, who we run the Gold and Silver Club. I'm a professional trader, trainer and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I personally specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the biggest financial markets in the world, those being Forex, gold, silver and oil. I've trained hundreds of individuals to become independent traders, successfully managing their own investment portfolio. I'm responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders, and also a regular contributor to a number of financial and global business publications, and I speak at trading seminars, workshops, sharing this knowledge. And this is Nick Kelsey, who's also joining me on the call today and will be helping answer all of your questions. Nick began his career, he's a professional investor, trader and speaker. Nick began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. And prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, he spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top-tier hedge funds and investment banks. And it's through some of Nick's first-hand relationships with some of the world's most successful traders that he's discovered the formula, mindset and tools that can give any individual the definitive edge to make money in any economy. And Nick also regularly writes for a number of global business and financial publications and appears frequently on television. So you're absolutely in safe hands today. This is actually just a few news items that we've been in the press recently. You've got the Arabian there, South African International Life, just a few of the articles. This is us delivering some of our workshops and seminars. And before we go on to a little bit more detail, just quickly, this is some of our success stories. You know, we've got Pete Doherty here. He makes more money trading the Gold and Silver Club strategies than any other investments. I know a couple of you on the call actually know Pete personally. This is Mike Thornton. 2 months after completing the Gold and Silver Club training program, he achieved 26.69% return on investment across his entire portfolio, which was astounding, more than he'd done in any other of his investments or training courses. And this is just Sammy Lamb, from complete beginner to achieving consistent returns of 6% per month in 3 months. That's just a couple of our students, for recent students, and we're going to move on to how to trade breakouts on bet on markets. Okay, so before we go on, just again make this nice and interactive, can anybody tell me and you may need to just quickly check the spot price yourselves. Anybody tell me what the current price of gold is right now? Okay, we've got 1,592. Anybody else? It's not too far off. $1,650. All very close, very close. Anybody else? Okay, well I think Keith Keith and Anil have been the closest there. We are actually, spot price right now is $1,659 per ounce. So you were only $9 out. So well done, guys. That's a good guess. Okay, today we're actually also going to have a look at the commodity pairs because these are relevant to when we're trading gold. We're going to look at Australian US dollar, which is associated with gold commodities, and New Zealand dollar, US dollar, also associated with gold commodities. The reason they are closely related to commodity values is because these countries are major commodity exporters. And you'll often see if you've got a big move in gold that those two currency pairs will follow, and likewise if you have a big move to the downside, you will also get a similar move on these currencies. So we're going to look at both of those currency pairs today, as well as gold and silver. So here's what you need to know about gold and silver trading hours. Okay, so the market opens at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. And sometimes there are actually opportunities to be trading on a Sunday at 11 o'clock. There's quite a lot of volatility sometimes on the open. And the market closes at 9 p.m. on a Friday. It's a 23-hour market. The only reason it's not 24 is it closes for an hour each evening. But plenty of trading opportunities. So by trading these hours, 23-hour market, or a 24-hour market if we include our currency pairs, the opening and closing times of these different markets offer us lots of different trading opportunities. The major times, if you only had a few times in a day where you could be trading, the major times where you're going to see the most volatility, it's going to start off at 7 o'clock in the morning, the Frankfurt Open. 8 o'clock in the morning, you often see a lot of volatility on the London Open. Generally speaking, after about half 10, 11 o'clock through to about half 12, there's not much movement. So for those 2 hours, it's not really worth getting in and out of positions, usually around that sort of time. Not until 1 o'clock in the afternoon when New York opens. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Chicago opens. You often see a lot of volatility between 1 and 2 o'clock. And throughout the afternoon until UK closes at half 4. And then America stays open until 9 o'clock. This is based on UK time, by the way, guys. I know there's a few of you from, well, it's global. We have a global reach on tonight's webinar. So this is UK time. 10 p.m. UK time, Sydney opens, and Wellington, so that's the Pacific. And then we have Asia opening at midnight, Tokyo open, and 2 a.m. Hong Kong. There are often quite a lot of trading opportunities, funnily enough, around these sort of times, around 12, 2 o'clock in the morning. If you happen to be up at that sort of time, there are often trading opportunities. Reason being is obviously we just saw China is one of the biggest buyers of silver and gold actually as well, after India, and you often see a lot of movement in the early hours as well on those commodities. Something that you need to be aware of are the key news releases. So sometimes you can have all your technicals right, you can have a strategy, but you must be aware of when key news is going to be released. Important news that we want scheduled, and if you want to jot down a website for this, there are a lot of different websites, but one is Forex Factory. And you go to calendar, and you can actually see there when the news is scheduled for the week. For example, tomorrow afternoon, Ben Bernanke, that chap in the middle, is going to be speaking at 3 o'clock. So expect volatility. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. US non-farm payroll is actually going to be, it's the first Friday of every month at 1:30 p.m., so that's going to be next Friday. And that's the level of employment in America other than those who work in farms. That's why it's called non-farm payroll. And that often moves the markets quite significantly, currency markets, commodities. Interest rates, again, these are set by central banks. They exert enormous influence. Inflation numbers, CPI and PPI, also important. Federal Reserve interventions, we're going to talk about that a bit more today. Last Wednesday's FOMC meeting tomorrow. Federal Reserve is speaking at 3 p.m. Reason this is important is because if there's mention or not mention of QE3, quantitative easing, this affects the markets enormously. And of course, the Eurozone, so the growing debt situation in Europe has had a significant impact on currency prices, and it's likely to continue that way. Okay, so we're going to take a look at what happened last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, at 7 p.m. in the evening, we had an FOMC announcement. And typically in August, you don't see lots of volatility in the market. However, we were ready for this announcement, as we are all Federal Reserve announcements. And as soon as it was broken, this is just an example of Bloomberg TV here, many members, this is the news as it came out, it says many members judged that additional monetary accommodation would likely be warranted. So this is really one of the first times that the Federal Reserve have really come out and said that they are willing to use additional stimulus tools, and this is what happened. So we had gold and silver at 4 months highs, on the hinting of additional stimulus. What I've got on my screen there is just examples of gold, silver, New Zealand, US dollar, Australian US dollar. We've got oil there as well. And you can see everything just broke out to the upside. As soon as that news came out, they broke out. And actually, we'll show you what happened next. But we had some huge moves there to the upside. First of all, before we show you those, it's important to understand breakouts and how we make money from those. So I'm sure a lot of you have come across the concept of support and resistance before within trading. And support is a floor in price where often you will find buyers, and resistance is a ceiling in price where you will find sellers. And a price often can move between support and resistance. We'll show you some examples. But they are areas where price may stop and turn around in the future or break out from. So typically, one of two things will happen when price approaches resistance levels. Either price will hit that level and we will see a reverse, or on the occasions of big news or some fundamental change in the market, if the price breaks through, expect a high momentum move to continue. So this is just an example, a visual here for you for support and resistance. You can see the blue line is just representing a market, and we can see the resistance where the price is hitting that, it's going down, and the support is where the price is being supported. It's the most basic yet effective form of technical analysis. The reason being is that a lot of traders acknowledge these levels. And the bigger the time frame, the more important the potential resistance or support levels. So, for example, on silver, we haven't broken through the 26 level on silver for the last 12 months, and there's been a lot of support there. So it's been a real area of a lot of buying, which we covered in a previous webinar. If you want to watch that at any point, it's on the Better Markets YouTube channel. And silver gold has not broken the 1520 level in the last 12 months and has been tested a few times as well. So that's another example there of very strong support. So why breakouts? At some point, there will be some fundamental shift in the market that will trigger the price action to burst out of the resistance level and trading range. So in the last 2 weeks, we've seen breakouts on gold and silver and oil. And on the 20th of August, so this is going back to last Monday, silver reached a 3-month high of 28.70. So it was inches away, actually, from testing a key level of 28.75. It's actually a Fibonacci level for some of you more advanced traders. If that means nothing to you, don't worry about it. It's just a key level that we were looking at during the US trading session. We were set to trade that breakout. We were ready, if the price broke out of this trading range, to jump on that trade. And this is what happened. So once we hit 28.75, we saw a little bit of resistance, and then the price broke out. And it broke out of the 3-month trading range in style and went up 9% last week. And you can see here the next profit target we had was actually another Fibonacci level, but this was reached within 3 days. We moved from 28.75. We completed price action and moved all the way to $30.46. It was a 171-point move for those of you who trade either via platforms such as spread betting or live trading accounts in the futures market. But this was also very tradable and actionable on better markets, which we also took advantage of. And then gold. Gold broke out on the 22nd of August, and that was last Wednesday. So we had that breakout on silver. Now, gold hadn't broken out yet. So after we saw the previous week oil breakout, we were then looking at silver, which broke out. So the next logical commodity which could possibly break out was gold. And in fact, we'd been hitting against this resistance level around about 1630 to 1635 for quite some time on gold, as you actually see on the screen there. And we finally broke that last week, and we pushed above this 16. It was 1624, and above that we wanted to clear roughly 1630. And here's what happened: we actually got to 5-month highs. You can see there where we'd broken out of that trading range. It was a fantastic breakout trade again, and the momentum over the 3 days was huge. So gold moved over 3% last week to a 5-month high of $1,676. And this is the example. It actually got to 1,656, which was a level that we were looking at, and we were very impressed. This level of resistance then became support, and the price rallied off just under another $20, and we've hit this resistance now of 1674. We've retested 1656 a few times, and we're currently just above that level at the moment, $1,658 right now. And this was pound dollar, another market that we were paying close attention to, because with pound dollar, as a lot of you will know who were on the previous webinar, we had been in a sideways range for the last 3 months. And finally, on the 21st of August, following the FOMC announcement, we broke out to the upside in fashion, and you can see there where we had the breakout. Great trade. And this was the actual price action last week. So on the 22nd of August, this is the breakout we had. Again, very tradable. And finally, this is New Zealand USD dollar. Sorry, New Zealand USD. and this was the breakout we had last Wednesday. So this is where the price, you can see a level that we were looking at there. The announcement came out and the breakout to the upside we had. So plenty of examples there for you to have a look at. And in fact, this is all based on obviously what's happened in the last week or so, the last 2 weeks. But tomorrow, if you want to put this in your diary, the next Federal Reserve announcement is tomorrow at 3 p.m. You can see there, I've just got that off Forex Factory. So at 3 p.m., Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke is speaking. So we will be watching the markets closely. There may be movement either side depending on what is said, whether all eyes tomorrow are going to be on whether there's going to be talk of additional monetary stimulus. If this is really agreed upon, or if there's going to be more confirmation of that, we are definitely going to see some sort of a breakout again. If there is no mention and these speculation is really to the point of no conversation relating to any additional stimulus, we will most likely see the market tumble down again as well. But we will show you how you can trade either scenario. But today we are going to mainly concentrate on how to trade breakouts because of what's going to occur over the next few months. So how can you trade the financial markets 100% tax-free profit? And Better Markets platform is known as fixed odds trading. So what we're going to be looking at today is fixed odds trading. What is fixed odds trading? Logical question. Okay, so fixed odds trading, if you've never come across this before, I know some of you have been on a lot of our webinars, others are completely new. So essentially, it allows you to make money at the spot price. You're not going to have to pay a premium, get in at a level or a price that is way above your entry price. You can get in at the very spot price. So price of gold right now is 1,658 per ounce, and we could trade that at that level right now. Fixed odds offers the easiest and lowest entry into financial trading. You can start off with very small amount. In fact, you can open an account in just a few minutes. You don't have to, it's not as laborious as some trading accounts can be. You can start trading with a deposit as little as £20, actually less than that. But today, you can actually get started now, because everybody on the webinar, if you haven't received this before, everybody on the webinar today will get £20 credit for their Better Markets trading account just by being on the webinar today. If you've been on a few of our webinars before or already collected this, you won't be eligible, but for those of you who are new to Better Markets or you've never received this, you will get £20 credit within 3 days of this webinar. So that's something as a little bit of a bonus for everyone today. And with Rise and Fall, we are going to be looking, with Better Markets, we're going to be looking at a trade known as a Rise and Fall. So for those of you who've already got an account with Better Markets, if you want to log in now and you want to go to Commodities and Rise and Fall, we're going to talk through plenty of examples very shortly. So I'm just going to start to log into that to show you some live examples that we can start looking at now, and possibly setups, not really setups, they're just showing you how you can actually use the platform to trade in this way. Okay, so we're just going to log in now. And if you want to join me, just log into your accounts if you're not already done so, or if you don't have an account. you can still go onto the platform. Okay. Okay, so what you want to do is go to start betting. So start trading or start betting. What we're going to be looking at now is a rise and fall trade, okay? And in fact, we are going to start off with Australian US dollar. We will go to gold very shortly. Okay. Now, what is great about this is that you can... Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario now. So let's say we're going back to last Wednesday, and we are going back to the news at 7 o'clock. And as soon as the FOMC announcement came out, the market started to rally very rapidly on the announcement that there would be measures taken for additional stimulus. So simply select the market, start time now, and you can actually go into seconds, minutes, hours, and days. So first off, we're just going to show you, this is a trade that you can take. If you want to take advantage of the momentum, you put for the trade to finish higher, because we're looking at breakouts the same day, you just put 0 days. You're going to put for the trade to expire by midnight the same day by putting 0 days. So getting in just off that news, or even if the market has been trading in a sideways range for quite some time. And here, actually, this is important, go to your graph at the bottom. And for some of you, you're going to have trading platforms that you look at your charting. You can also go down to the graph at the bottom here. This is your chart. So you could be in a 1 hour time frame, for example, the news is just coming out. You're seeing that the price is really moving, taking on that news, or it may be that we're just broken out of a trading range, and you can simply put the payout that you want. In this example, we're just putting 500 there, and you would select buy this bet, and on here we're just looking at 0 days for the price to be high. You can change this amount. You can go. I know everybody will have varied account sizes. You can go up to a maximum of 75,000 payout on any given trade. Your deposit there would be £40,609, or you could go as low as £2, and your deposit on that trade would be £1.8 for £2 payout. So for this, we're just going to look at £500. So for the price to be higher that day, you'd simply buy this bet, so 0 days, and the price to be higher, and you would just click to buy that bet, that would buy that trade. Now, if you wanted to take advantage, if there was going to be more news coming out later that day, or you wanted to be quicker in and out of that trade, you can put it into hours. So you can select the hours, for example, 1 hour for the price to be higher just in 1 hour. So it could be on a breakout or off news. You can actually break this down into minutes. So you could select 30 minutes, for example. You're trading a breakout and you're looking for the price to be higher in 30 minutes. And again, we just put a payout there of $1,000. This will be in the currency that of your choosing. We've just got it in dollars at the moment, but this would be a deposit of $527 for a £1,000 payout, and this would be buy the bet to be higher, and you'd get that within 30 minutes. And they even have seconds on here, actually, so a minimum of 30 seconds. That is the absolute minimum time you can have on there. That would be if you're trading a very high volume move, but we would be more interested usually in looking at the minutes, hours, and if you didn't want to be having to stay by your screen for the whole afternoon and you wanted to take advantage of just the overall momentum often used, you would be more likely to select 0 days or have the time finish over a few hours, which worked perfectly for last Wednesday's trading. So with Forex, doing rise and fall, you've got a lot more choice because you've got days, you've got hours, minutes. And it doesn't have to be 0 days. It could be 2 days, 3 days, but to have it 0 days means the trade will finish by midnight. So now we're going to bring you on to the example with gold and silver. So with gold, if you don't have charting, you can go down to the live charts at the bottom here. Okay, we're going to put it into a 60-day chart. Hopefully you can all see this on my screen. Here you can see where the price has not really broken above 1,600, and that's about $35 since June. This is something that you could monitor on a daily basis or be very aware of as we come up to some major news. And quite simply, once we broke out of this range here to the upside, the momentum continued. We had a big breakout to the upside there. You can see very clearly we've broken out of a range. With gold, silver and oil, you cannot go into minutes and hours, but that's fine because again we would be looking in this example to look at the 0 days and for the trade to expire that day. Now sometimes in the right hand corner here you will say this bet is not available at the moment because trading is suspended due to excessively fast market conditions. So when you get this appearing, I mean, I'm having a look at the markets right now, they're just chopping about a little bit. It's a good example again actually, even at 7:30 in the evening, the gold market is fairly volatile right now. You just refresh this. So you just refresh it several times and sometimes you may need to wait a minute or two and be patient with it. We'll give it a couple more attempts, but otherwise we could leave it just for a few seconds or a minute or two and come back to it. Let's just have a look at silver. Okay, so silver is giving us the option to do a trade straight away. We just go back to gold. And there we go. So it's back again. So that took me the best part of probably about 30 seconds to a minute just to refresh that. So it's just a case of refreshing that. If ever you go and trying to take a trade and it says the markets are moving excessively fast or something like this, just stick with it and it will refresh fairly quickly as I've just done so there. Okay, so now we're going to look at silver. So again, for those of you who don't have charting, you can go down to the little graph at the bottom here. Let's look at it over 60 days. Here we have this 28.75 level we were looking at, and then we had a breakout, and the momentum was huge. So we were paying very close attention to that. Once we broke out above 28.75, very simply, a trade on this could pick for the price to finish higher the same day because the momentum is likely to continue once we had that confirmation of a breakout and also the news as well. And price to be higher, 0 days, select the payout you want here, whatever that may be. We'll use, if that's £1,000, for example, your deposit is 558. Even if it's something as low as £10, your deposit would be £5.58. So this is how you can work this, or if you wanted to go, you can go as high as £10,000, your deposit would be 5,584. So you can see there where we've traded a breakout in the price of silver from the 29th. So this is where we've had a range-bound market and the price has finally broken to the upside. Now, if you wanted to be looking at this market tomorrow, you would look at it in something like a 1 hour time frame. You'll see that the market today has actually taken a little bit of a dive. We're actually right on a Fibonacci level at the moment. 30, we're literally right on it at 30.46 right now, the price. So interested, no, 30.41, sorry. So very interested to see if we are, how the price action is going to be tomorrow on the news. But if that means absolutely nothing to you, don't worry. Essentially, tomorrow you want to be looking, if you are able to trade this at that time, some of you may be working at 3 o'clock, but if you are around for that news announcement, you can simply go to Better Markets, You put it into a 1 hour time frame, and that's something that you can trade off depending on how the news breaks. The most powerful of these trades are where you've been in a range-bound market. So we've been in that range for 3 months. We finally broke out. We were monitoring it very closely because we got to that level. We tested it a few times. We broke out to the upside. So very simply, a trade for the price to be higher that day. And then you can do this if we get the next important levels now that we're going to be looking at for silver to the upside. We're going to really need to start clearing above the 31 point, it's around about 31.70 or 32. If we can clear that level, there's further confirmation that the price will be able to rally. At the moment, we're right on some overhead resistance because we've been in a downward, essentially a downward move since last year. Since May 2011, silver has been downtrended, and we're right at the top of that resistance right now at $30.40. So if we get a breakout now, we get back above 31.75 or above 32, we may get several more breakouts, and some speculators are actually, I'll tell you what, I would leave it at that. I don't want to give any external advice on this at all. I'm just simply talking about the chart at the moment. We are coming up to a 30, its resistance level right on 30.50 right now, but if we do break above 32, that will be further confirmation that we can continue the rally slightly further. So something to watch out for. And we've also got non-farm payroll next Friday, which will see some significant news as well. Finally, we're going to look at oil. Okay, so oil, wow, what an interesting, oil is very volatile. And in fact, oil is fantastic for trading on better markets because oil can move several hundred points in a day, and this allows you a way to trade oil. Often a lot of traders will get the trade right with something like oil, the general trend, but they just won't be able to stay in the trade. So you get stopped out of that trade because it's so volatile. However, if you're able to put a trade on over several days or even a day for it to finish higher or lower, depending on the move, you can actually trade that very with limited risk on there. Okay, so we're going to look at the recent breakouts we've had on oil. Again, you can go to your graph at the bottom here. If you don't necessarily need the software that we use to run our trading is MetaTrader. We find that the best for charting, but I do like the graphs on here. You know, if you don't have access to that, it's on our website actually, thegoldandsilverclub.com. If anybody wants that to help them with their better markets trading, you can simply click on MetaTrader link and you can get that platform just for your charting. But you can also access the graph at the bottom here. We've got live charts on oil, and you can see, let's put it over the last 20 days. So you can see where the price has risen. Actually, we're going to look at 40 days. You can see where the price has risen, and we've broken out from that low that we put in at 98, and we've continued to rise, and we've got up to 3 or 4 month highs recently. Again, you can either be trading with a trend or you can trade breakouts. The minimum duration is, again, 0 days. So if we had a breakout, this is important when there's news relating to crude oil inventories, or there's any news which is affecting oil. We recently had news out of, well, we have the crude oil inventories which occurred every Wednesday at 3:30, which essentially give you an idea of how much oil is in supply, and off that you can often get a volatile move. But when we're looking to trade breakouts with crude oil, and this is where we're looking at the price going higher, we would just put, again, 0 days, put our payout, whatever you choose that to be within your risk management, and here, and the markets are closed actually right now. They closed that just 15 minutes ago for crude oil. Crude oil opens on better markets. You can trade that from 9:30 right until 7:30. So the market's closed now, but we've got plenty of opportunities on the other currencies and gold and silver. So Nick is actually just ready to answer some questions very shortly. Just going to check, hopefully Yep, he's all ready. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to carry on with the presentation. Still got some more to share with you. Nick's just letting me know we just need to test his microphone very shortly. But in terms of the actual utilizing better markets, I hope that's clear to you. And before we move on to the next stage, I'm just going to run through that actually very quickly one more time. Let's use New Zealand US dollar as an example. And let's say we were on a breakout. Again, you're looking to go to start betting Forex, rise and fall on the left on this particular scenario. We could have gone into other details of the other trades. We want to keep it very simple for you. Rise and fall is a very, it's one of our preferred ways of taking these trades. And New Zealand US dollars, you select the currency you're looking at. This particular currency also follows gold quite nicely. So perhaps we're on a breakout at the moment, get best price. You may choose that you want that trade to expire in, for example, 3 hours whilst the momentum is really high as opposed to 0 days. You can do that and then get best price, place that trade, whatever you want that to be. So the payout here is £1,000, for example, for a deposit of 558, or we can have a look at £100 payout for a deposit of 54, and so forth. You can go up to 75,000, or as little as, although I don't think it will be as interesting for you, but as little as a £2 payout where your deposit is £1 if you just want to get used to some of the strategies and utilizing the platform. Okay, so now we are going to move back to the presentation. Okay, good. Right, we are back on the presentation now. And actually, what I would ask everybody to do is just quickly let me know if you can see my presentation now. You can see rise and fall on the screen right now, just to check that we are logged out of Better Markets. Yep, okay, fantastic. Thanks very much, Anil. Okay, great. So that was a rise and, thanks, Christine. So that was a rise and fall trade. So essentially, if you select rises, you win the payout if the market exit price is strictly higher than the entry spot, which is great for trading breakouts. Why do we like utilizing Better Markets for this? Well, the advantages are you can still make a big gain with small market moves. So again, the price, even though it's breaking out, just needs to move 1 cent higher than your actual entry point and you will win the whole trade. You have full control to manage your own risk, so you decide exactly how much to invest and you know exactly how much profit you make. One important point is you cannot be stopped out of these trades, so you can't get stopped out early. The price just needs to finish higher than your entry point. Question from Anil, can you close the trade before expiry? The answer is on the Forex pairs, yes. Normally you can. On gold and silver, normally no. But we're looking for fairly, most of these scenarios, because it's a breakout trade, we're looking for an exit more or less the same day. It's not the same as trend trading. Okay, so I've got a question here from Blaze. Why do we often see the word strictly higher or strictly lower? Why is strictly used? So the price, if it was to finish, your closing price was to finish the same as your entry price, you wouldn't win the trade. You only need, the price needs to be strictly 1 point or 1 cent higher than your entry price and you will win the whole trade. And yes, it is 100% tax-free. So we're just going to go into the 5 rules of online trading. And what I'm going to do right now, just before we go on to that, give you a quick breather. We're just going to check. Nick is joining us. Well, Nick is on the line here. We're just going to check his mic is working okay to go through a Q&A shortly. So I'm just going to hand over to you very quickly, Nick, just to test out your mic. Okay, and whilst Nick's doing that, we're just going to quickly go through the 5 important rules of online trading. So number 1 is to plan your trade and trade your plan. So this is important. So if your plan in this scenario is to trade breakouts, you don't want to be looking at different strategies or making a guess on markets where you're not applying what we've just talked about. So on this particular example, we were looking at breakouts of a trading range, and we're also looking at breakouts based on news. And if that's part of your trading plan, you can action those trades. The trend is your friend. So you've seen an example here, gold, silver, crude oil. They have been trending they've been in a short-term downtrend since the beginning of this year, but overall we're in a 10-year bull market. Gold has gone up every single year for the last 11 years and is currently up, and silver has had a similar run. So the overall trend is up on the markets we've been looking at this evening. You do need to manage risk appropriately. So for each of your trades, you don't want to be risking all of your capital. And we've covered that in previous webinars, but risk management is important. You want to practice self-control, patience, and discipline when you are trading. This is about managing your emotions and not getting into too many trades at the same time, which is exposing your portfolio too much. And investing in your trading education, which everybody is really doing this evening, whether it be time, money, reading, and so on. But by being on this webinar, that all contributes and compounds to your skill with trading and utilizing different platforms. So some of you often ask about our trading strategies, or how we trade and so forth. So our signature gold, silver, and oil trading strategies, from basic to advanced, those include monthly cycles. And we've got the time that on average it takes our traders to be actually utilizing these trades once they've got the relevant alerts and so on set up. So actually placing the trades is really no more than 10 minutes a month. Trend trading, again, is taking advantage of cycles. This isn't something that takes more than 10 minutes a week. Day trading, actually placing the trades, is not more than 10 minutes a day. News trading, again, does not require placing those trades more than 10 minutes a day. And price action trading. So these are the core strategies that a lot of our Gold and Silver Club traders are trading and being very successful at, as we will show you. These are the exact advanced strategies used by our graduates like Dali, who actually had no previous trading experience at all. After 5 months with us, Dali has made more money in one single day in August actually than she did in her day job, which is phenomenal. Here you can actually see some of her posts on that popular social network, Facebook, where she's actually updating that. She's really chuffed. And she did phenomenally well in August, actually 38 winning trades, which was absolutely brilliant. That was after 12 weeks of being with us. We actually just had our August results in from some of our traders. You can see we had, I know some of you on the call actually know some of our traders. We had some of our students, Jim Keeble, 18 wins and 3 losses for an 86% win rate in August. Andrew Wilkins up over 23.5% in August, phenomenal. Danny Skyhill, 73% win rate, up 3% in August. Takanori Ito up 5% in August, and Bill Ford, 12 wins and 6 losses. Up 20% this month. So that's so far this month, and that's phenomenal results from some of our recent students. That's brilliant. So why trading? I'm sure a lot of you know this, but essentially your money works hard for you. It generates income and grows your saving pot. There's no commuting if this is something that you're doing full-time or even on the side. You're saving time, money, and frustration. More time for yourself to do the things you want and really to get your life back. So that's why we love trading. And here is just a little example for you of the magic of compound interest. I'm afraid some of this slide has been chopped off at the side there for some reason, but if we're looking at a starting investment of £10,000, and we were to be looking at a monthly growth rate, for example, of conservative 4%, which most of our students do say is quite conservative, but we're going to look at that level, and after the first year, perhaps it doesn't look that impressive. You're taking a £10,000 account, you're up to £16,000. The second year, by not taking out the principal amount, we are up to £25,600. The third year, £41,000. The fourth year, 65, and then things start to get interesting. In year 5, we've taken a £10,000 initial investment. We've compounded our returns, and it's really important to understand this when trading. The reason why you've got such superstar traders out there who are phenomenally wealthy is because of the compound interest element of their trading. They keep compounding their returns, and then it really begins to snowball. Some of you know the grain of rice story. I won't go into it now, but it's just an example of compound interest, which actually Albert Einstein said was the 8th wonder of the world, that it was the most powerful mathematical formula out there, compound interest. And it is important to understand this. So you're actually look at the very bottom there, after 10 years, you've taken a 10,000 account to £1 million over the course of 10 years, and that's just looking at 4% return per month. We've actually got a compound calculator, which everybody trains with us gets. You can work out, based on your initial investment or percentage per month return you think is achievable, and you can work that out. So that's just something we wanted to share with you quickly. And as we come towards the end of the webinar, if you would like to subscribe to our newsletter, we keep everybody updated on a weekly basis with what's going on with the commodities market, gold and silver. You can simply go to our website, www.thegoldandsilverclub.com, and you can just subscribe there. You can go to our website and you can very easily subscribe to our weekly newsletter. You also get invites to these webinars with Bet on Markets, all the workshops, the webinars that we are doing, and you get some great information on a weekly basis. So feel free to go to our website there and to sign up to a weekly newsletter. If you do want to contact us about anything discussed today, or if you want to talk in further detail, you can email us at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com or contact us on 0207 193 0403. Okay, and now what we're going to do, we've got some questions which have come through. I'm actually fortunate, I can see quite a lot of the questions on this occasion as well, which is good. But we're just going to quickly test and see. I know Nick is having some technical challenges this evening with his mic. Let's just quickly see if we can bring Nick on. So we're just going to quickly do a quick test. But if you've got any other questions, please put them in the Q&A. I've got a few questions already, which we're going to go through. Okay, Nick's just logging on to the mic now. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, that's fine. Well, Nick's having some technical difficulties at the moment, but I can actually see the questions coming through as well. So let's just quickly go over these before we finish up. Coming up to 8 o'clock now. So what effect does the Federal Reserve have on currencies if they print more money? So Federal Reserve is a big date to look out for, September the 14th as well, but also tomorrow at 3 o'clock. If the Federal Reserve prints more currency or more US dollars, this typically pushes the commodities market will skyrocket. Essentially, prices of gold, silver, they will go up a lot, as will currencies like the US Australian US dollar, New Zealand US dollar. So that will be the result if more quantitative easing is announced. Okay, so does Forex have any correlation to gold and silver? Not all currency pairs correlate. The ones which do the most are Australian US dollar and New Zealand US dollar. Often if there's going to be a move on gold, which it's not as volatile as those currency pairs, you'll see a more exaggerated move on those currencies. Which websites do we recommend for news? Okay, well, we recommend, Forex Factory is good to just get the news so you can see the calendar when scheduled news is coming out. We also have access to Reuters news feeds. We've got a special template just for the Gold and Silver Club with Reuters that if that's of interest, just obviously get in touch with us. But you can also watch live news on something like Bloomberg TV. What are the best trading hours of the day? Well, the thing is with gold and silver, which we love about it, is that it is, some of you have remarked on the questions there, do we ever sleep? It's a good question. We are able to take advantage of markets at different hours of the day. So it is the real beauty if you are working a job that, unlike the UK stock market, you can trade things like gold, silver, well into the evening. There are trading opportunities, which is fantastic because the Asian Pacific market. But typically the best times to be trading are the opening and closing of markets where you see a lot of volatility. So first thing in the morning is good, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning is normally pretty volatile. In the afternoon, between 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and in the evening can also be quite good as well. As the Asian market, the American markets close, the Asian markets open, so well into kind of 11 between 10 and perhaps sort of 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And it depends where you are actually listening to this webinar from in the world at the moment, but if you're on UK time, there's often trading opportunities well into the early hours if you are a bit of a night owl. Okay, so we just answer one last question there. We've got the choice of 2. Okay. Okay, so what is the difference between trading on better markets as opposed to spread betting? So some of you may be spread betting at the moment. Okay, the major difference of using a platform like Bet on Markets is one, you can manage your risk very well. So you know exactly how much money that you are risking up front. It's very clear. With spread betting, if you're not putting in stop losses or you haven't been trained to be able to do that, it can actually be quite challenging, and you can often risk more than you wanted to on any particular trade. It's important as well that on fixed odds trading you can't get stopped out of a trade. Often you can have a trade correct, but you may get stopped out of it. And also you can take advantage of very small market moves. So even if the price moves just a few cents in your direction, if you've predicted it will do that, you get the full payout based on very small moves. So that is the difference between Bet on Markets and Forex. Brilliant. Okay, excellent, guys. Well, I think that's it. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions there that have come through. And Neil, thanks very much for that question. Please do send us an email to office@thegoldandsilverclub.com, and we can send you more information about that, or call us on the office number. Yeah, thanks, Anil. Great. Okay, guys. Well, you've been a fantastic audience this evening. It's been great, and we'll speak to you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.